Team Canada continues to light it up at the World Hockey Championships.
Here's Ekblad with a shot, score! Aaron Ekblad!
Coming out on top versus tough opponents in their last two matchups.
Terrorist power play goal! And Canada's in front!
Canada looks to leading scorer Taylor Hall to keep the hot streak alive against the French. After a very impressive win versus the U.S., Belarus sits on top of Group B.
Some tic-tac-toe from Belarus.
But their biggest test may be today as they take on Russia. Day 9 of the World Hockey Championship begins now. Good morning, Canada. Just past 6 a.m. Eastern, 3 a.m. Pacific, high noon in the Czech Republic. France has Canada. Fifth game of the tournament upcoming. There's Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle. They will play alongside Sidney Crosby today. No Cristobal Huet in net for France. That's a surprise. Ronan Kemener draws in. And the big game over in Ostrava. Ilya Kovalchuk against the surprising Belarusians. Belarus leads that pool right now, so we'll be keeping on top of that one as well. Hi, everybody. Rod Black along with Bob Airy. Welcome to Day 9 at the Worlds. A very important game for Team Canada against France, a team that beat them last year, but a game to get a spot, punch their ticket to the quarters.
Well, it's incredible. A couple of line shuffles and a high-octane offense from Team Canada. We'll see if they can do it in a huge game in which they lost to France last year.
Boy, the games are getting more important. The conferences and the pools are tightening up. France and Canada coming up. Belarus and Russia. We bought both these games this morning. Finland and Slovakia later today, along with Sweden and Switzerland as they continue to leapfrog in both pools. Big game for Canada today. We say good morning to Gord Miller and Ray Ferraro in Prague.
Good morning from Prague. Canada's early start here, 12:15 local time. Looking for better starts, Ray.
Yeah, and it might be a little bit of a challenge for a group of players that are looking for some regularity to the system. The preliminary round games start at all various times. This is the earliest start, 12:15 local, that Team Canada is going to get in this tournament. And Todd McLellan has talked to his team about getting out of the gate a little quicker. They stumbled around against Sweden in the first period. They were down 3-0. And McLellan, after that first period, said to the players, we're on the receiving end too much. We're picking ourselves up off the ice. We're reactive, not proactive. And so they're going to try to be more aggressive from the very beginning of the game here against France. And to that point, the lines that we saw McLellan go with in the tail end of the game against Sweden, where the Edmonton Oilers guys, Hall and Eberle, are on the outside of Crosby, will remain the same for this game against France.
A lot of talk about how France beat Canada last year, 3-2 in a shootout, but don't forget the French also beat Russia the year before that at the World Championship.
All right, thanks, guys. The lineup has changed, of course. Sidney Crosby now with Taylor Hall and Jordan Eberle. This lineup shuffle came against the Swedes, and Matt Duchene moves between Nate McKinnon and Jason Spezza. Cody Eakin will not play today, and Braden Shen draws in. He makes his first start at this year's Worlds. So let's talk a little bit about that move with Sidney Crosby going between the two Oilers now.
Well, I like it. I think it's great because you got the speed of Hall, who leads this tournament with 8 points and 5 goals. Sidney Crosby's going to have the puck in his hands most of the time. That's a good thing, I think, for Taylor Hall. So he goes to the net. Eberle finds the soft spots. You have that good dynamic there. A ton of speed on that line. And Crosby always said he likes the right. There's Duchene, who moves in with Spezza on that line with Nate McKinnon. So a lot of offense, 200 goals between the top 9 players on the top 3 lines of Team Canada in the regular season this year in the NHL.
Team Canada averaging 7 goals a game through the 4 games so far, giving up 2 goals a game. Defense has been pretty good. And how about Patrick Wierkoch?
Well, it's been a great story. He's been a great story at Burnaby, BC. Played 56 games in Ottawa, 21 scratches, 5 with an injury, and you know he's already got a +6 in this tournament. And here he is, the big man, 6'5". That's great stuff for Wierkoch. He just sticks with it. And I tell you, this sometimes takes a little bit longer for those bigger guys to come into themselves. The skating's improved. Good teaching, stick on puck, all those kind of things that Team Canada is using right now.
What do you think, Team Canada? Better start, obviously, against the team that has a bit of a history against them.
Well, yes, last year to the day, France defeated Canada in a shootout. Bellemare with the winner, but Huet was tremendous in that game. Not getting the start, and there's Pierre-Edouard Bellemare of the Philadelphia Flyers. Not available for France in this game. Huet's not playing as well, but it'll be a good one.
Yeah, I mean, they seem to get jacked up for Team Canada. So Team Canada, this is their 5th game of the tournament. Again, France today. They've got Switzerland tomorrow, and then Austria on Tuesday. And again, a win today punches their ticket to the quarterfinals. Here's Brian Mudryk with Matt Duchesne.
Matt, I know it's an entirely different team and a new team. Canada last year, Canada lost to France. How important is a quick start for you guys here?
Yeah, I don't think we're looking at that. I think we're looking at where we got to go still to win those the quarterfinal, semifinal, final games, and we're preparing for that. And we want to finish first in our pool, and we've got to take care of business here.
You had great success early on in the tournament on the Oiler line. Looking forward to playing with your new teammates today. Yeah.
Obviously, you got to shuffle a little bit, and it doesn't matter who you're playing with on this team. It's always you're always going to have great line mates. So should be good.
Thanks. Good luck.
Thank you.
A couple members of the Colorado Avalanche together now, and look at the posters. Team Canada fans overseas, Yager fans everywhere. We'll continue to set up our day 9 at the Worlds after this.
The 25th.
Unofficial midway point of this tournament, Canada's 5th game of the preliminary. Again, they play 7. Canada, chance to punch its ticket to the quarters today. France needing a win, and it makes you wonder why Cristobal Huet is not in the lineup today. They need wins, and maybe they're saving him for the next 2 games, or maybe he's hurt. The U.S. leads the way over in Group B, but Belarus and Russia, look at that. Huge game in Ostrava today. Dennis Bayak and Shane Knighty will call it.
For Russia, their last 2 games, a loss to the United States and then a game against Denmark that was really in doubt until the 3rd period. As a result, Coach Oleg Znarak has done some line juggling.
Well, and he's changed things around. Yeah, it was a close game against Denmark, a 1-goal affair until late, 2 late goals by Russia, and he has switched things around. We've seen Ilya Kovalchuk, who played under 2 minutes in that 3rd period, now lined up with Anisimov and Tarasenko. That'll give them some more punch on the offensive side, but they're still led by the line, Dodonov, Panarin, and Shapachev. They have led the way offensively for Russia, who has had 5 goals or more in their 3 wins.
And that's a line that plays together in the KHL. For Belarus, maybe they've been the surprise of this championship so far. They have points in every game they've played, including 3 regulation wins.
Again, that game on TSN 5. Here are our starting goalies, brought to you by Chevrolet. Find new roads.
For Belarus, Kevin Lalonde. Boy, he was good against Team USA in that victory. And that's Bob. What about Bob? Sergei Bobrovsky, 10-1 his career at the World Hockey Championship, goes for Russia in this one. In the other game, Ronan Kemener. There he is, finished second league. There, well, he's going to be the man. You'll know about him after today, maybe. Martin Jones, Stanley Cup winner, gets the nod for Team Canada and Todd McClellan's club.
Martin Jones after Mike Smith. That started a pair. Jones gets back in today. So Canada, France from Prague, Belarus, Russia from Ostrava on TSN 5. Enjoy it, everybody. We'll see you at the intermissions as we begin bright and early breakfast at the Worlds.
Good afternoon from Prague in the Czech Republic. It's just after 12 o'clock local time, and a busy day here at the World Hockey Championship. This is one of 6 games being played today as France takes on Canada. The French shot Canada last year on the opening day of the tournament 3-2 in a shootout. The French never trailed in that game. They were coached then, as they are now, by Dave Henderson of Winnipeg, who's been the national team head coach for France since 2005. And Todd McClellan talked to us before this game, Ray, after a roller coaster win over Sweden 6-4, looking for more consistency and a better start.
Want to be up on their toes, want to push the game. They felt they were really reactive against the Swedes. They had to pick themselves up off the ice too often, back on their heels, and they'll look for a better start, and they start their 4th line. Toffoli, Couturier, and Braden Shen making his first appearance in the tournament.
So Stefan DaCosta, the former Ottawa Senator who scored twice in that win last year, is not playing this afternoon. He's got a knee injury. And Cristobal Huet, who was brilliant in goal, is not playing this afternoon. Ronan Kemenat is in goal for France, making his World Championship debut. He's been to 2 previous tournaments but had not played for the French. He was primarily their third goaltender. So a big challenge against 4-0 Canada coming off, we mentioned, an emotional win over Sweden, in which they trailed 3-0 after the first period.
Martin Jones gets his second start in goal, of course. The Los Angeles Kings goaltender has four shutouts this year.
And a quick shot taken there by Kevin Hekfeld. That's turned away by Jones.
He had 4 wins in Los Angeles, 3 of them via the shutout.
Loose in the corner for Damien Fleury, who has 2 goals to pace the French. That centering pass knocked away. And you mentioned Martin Jones, Ray. 11 starts on the year, only 4 after January the 1st.
With LA just scrambling to get into the playoffs, it was a steady diet of Jonathan Quick.
Now Jake Muzzin, a long shot, goes off the leg over Riley and wide. Back at the point, another long shot that's kicked away. This time Claude Giroux got it away as he was backing up Tyson Barrie. Jake Muzzin through the middle for Barrie, who comes leading the Canadian attack. And he was poke checked there by Ekfeld, who plays for Langau in the Swiss League. They were in the Swiss B League this year, but they earned promotion into the Swiss A League for next year. Patrick Wierkosh. Pass ahead to Jordan Eberle along with Sidney Crosby and Taylor Hall. All time for the tournament goal scoring lead with 5. Along with Philip Forsberg of Sweden. We'll see Forsberg in Sweden tonight against Switzerland at 8:15 local time, 2:15 Eastern.
The Swiss in a little bit of a spot here with their schedule as it is, with Sweden and Canada ahead of them. They don't have a lot of point opportunities in the next couple. They'll need a solid game tonight against the Swedes, who we saw the other night could be a real dangerous team.
So the funny thing with these standings is Latvia is in last place right now, but Latvia played the Czechs, Canada, and Sweden in its first 3 games. That's how Switzerland finishes. So the Swiss may not get another point here and could find themselves not in relegation territory, but certainly out of the quarterfinals, which would be a disappointment for them. So a huge game tonight for the Swiss against Sweden. Jonathan Janil goes back for the French, and his pocket pick there as McKinnon feeds it back to Dan Hamhuis. Hamhuis to McKinnon. Scored Canada's first goal this tournament, plays it back for Hamhuis. And Hamhuis for McKinnon. The bulk of these French players play in a domestic league, but several others do play in Sweden and Finland. That shot taken by Teddy Trebuchet goes high and wide. Now a centering pass for Claro misses. And away comes Jason Spezza for Canada as the Canadians are changing. Spezza works in all by himself, has a look back. Now has to leave the zone as Canada tags back up. Muzzin dropped it back. Now it's fired back in. And a big hit in the corners. Couturier collides there with Laurent Meunier, the longtime captain of the French team. Slow to get to his feet. Meunier's been the captain here since 2005. Now to Foley with a quick shot. And he's stopped by Kemenat. Center to Foley. Feeds across. Barrie back to Foley. He was all alone in front, but the pass skipped off his stick. Dennis has it knocked by him. And chopped up by Jörg Trehl. And back down to the Canadian zone. It'll be icing against France.
Sean Couturier had a goal in each of the last 2 games. Here's his solid hit in the corner on Meunier. And Couturier, who had 15 goals in Philadelphia, had a little bit of difficulty finding some ice time in the first couple of Canadian games, and had a deflection goal against the Czechs, and scored a nice one against the Swedes as Canada came all the way back from that 3-0 deficit.
He had the tying goal in the second period to make it 3-3. The Swedes got it to 4-3.
And then Patrick Wierkosh scored to make it 4-4. The depth of Canada's roster is, we talked about it a lot offensively at the start of the tournament, how good and dangerous this lineup possibly could be. And it seems every game, Gord, it's somebody else that jumps to the forefront with a big goal. It doesn't have to be Giroux or Crosby's line. And to that end, Todd McClellan juggled his lines around looking for the right answer against the Swedes.
So pairs have been together a lot in this tournament. Hall and Eberle have stayed together for the most part, but aside from that, they're pretty much wide open. Damien Fleury plays for Djurgården in the Swedish League, walks in and shoots. Jones a save, rebound, hammered wide there by Antoine Roussel of the Dallas Stars playing for France. Roussel, of course, the most notable player in this French lineup this afternoon. And that shot fired and tipped wide. Let's take a Fleury and Shakashvili.
Last year, Roussel had 6 goals in the tournament. This year, he doesn't have any. And the French just aren't deep enough to have one of their very best players not get on the board.
That pass knocked off Crosby's skate, and back goes to Brent Burns. Burns played nearly 25 minutes in that game against Sweden. He's played 9 more minutes in the tournament than any other Canadian player.
Bill Peters from Carolina runs the defense, and they leaned on those two pretty hard the other night. David Savard turned out to be the odd man out. He played 5 minutes.
Didn't get a shift in the third period. Sasha Trail had it knocked away, and here's Taylor Hall for Jordan Eberle. Back to Hall, who spins back in the corner. Hall got tied up. Feeds it back to Eberle with a quick shot that's tipped high and wide. And Kevin there may have got his glove on that at the last moment. Now Hall back with it, down to Crosby. Sidney Crosby feeds back for Eberle through his feet and back down the ice. So 5.5 gone here in the opening period. Is this the kind of start Todd McClellan was looking for, Red?
I don't know particularly. So they haven't had much zone time. I like the way they've skated, but the French have got out through the middle of the ice a couple of times, forced Jones into a couple early stops. I like the back pressure there, though.
Spezza with the steal, finds Duchesne with it. Duchesne centers for Spezza, drops it back for Jake Muzzin, a long shot. That's deflected wide. And Tyson Berry jumps up to keep it alive for Canada. Now moved out by Valentin Claro. Claro looking for the return pass. Duchesne came back with him. And it's lifted out by Berry.
Gord, there's the double-edged sword. I like the back pressure from Duchesne, but one shot later, the French get out on a man advantage break, and McClellan just wants his team to be a lot sharper. I'll tell you from playing in this tournament, though, when you play a team that you know that on paper you should beat, it's pretty easy to make some gambles you wouldn't normally make, and Canada's done that even so in the first 6.5 minutes.
Now Savard with the strip looks ahead, and this slides at it for Braden Shen back in the Canadian lineup. Now as Couturier shoots, Shen makes his tournament debut in this World Championship with a healthy scratch in Canada's first 4 games. 6.5 gone here in the first period, still no score. Another full house here in Prague, and if you've got the triple header tickets, this is going to be a long day today. Later today, Austria plays Latvia in a key game for 2 teams trying to avoid relegation. And tonight, Switzerland against Sweden. Roussel centered that puck. That was knocked away. Now back to the point. Back to pick it up is Kevin Hekefeu. Scored France's only goal in their 5-1 loss against the Czechs.
He plays a lot for them on the blue line. He'll be up near 25 minutes today for sure.
Ekblad shielding off Fleury. That allows Savard to get to it. Brings it around for Claude Giroux. Away comes Giroux with it now. Gains center ice and fires it down as Canada begins a change. Ryan O'Reilly looking for it. A pair of assists against the Swedes. O'Reilly drops it down to Sagan. Got the empty net goal in that game. Sagan tries to center it. It's blocked by Shakashvili. Now he feeds it back in front for Giroux. Claude Giroux feeds it back for Hamhuis. Rossi goes to Burns. And Burns' long shot tipped right on by Giroux. And the save made by Kevin. And a long drive taken by Sagan. And Kevin now stops that as well.
It's a good stop for Kemenaar, his first World Championship start.
Played in the Finnish second league this year, Ray. They won the championship. He's going to Sweden next year to play in their second league, known as the Allsvenskan.
Where, to your heart's desire, they play for promotion.
Yeah, and actually Switzerland's gone to that too.
You love that, don't you?
I think, well, first of all, the ratings in Sweden for the relegation tournament are as high as they are for the playoff. As Hall comes in, along with Berry, Tyson Berry works in, feeds it back in front for Crosby. The Swiss have gone to a system where the bottom-ranked team plays a best-of-7 against the top-ranked team from the B League. And the winner is in the Swiss A-League the next year. Now Tyson Berry, a long shot, bounces down to Crosby. And Crosby on the wraparound, spins and feeds it there. It was off a skate and wide, off the skate of Teddy Trebuchet.
Crosby ran into Muzzin there, and both of them head back to the Canadian bench.
And Berry back for it. Just picture relegation in the NHL for a moment. Picture the idea of a team that finishes last, have to play in a tournament or a series to see if they're in the NHL the next year.
So they would play the top team from the American League. Sure. Okay, interesting. Best chance of the game for the French right here is on the 3-on-2 turnover in the middle of the ice, and Fleury's going to shoot the puck. Rebound by Jones. And look in the middle of the ice. Laurent Meunier, the captain, has his stick up in the air. He thinks it's in the net, but it went wide, and there's that excellent stop on the deflection by Claude Giroux. Ronan Kemier with the stop. Canada 2 shifts in a row now, Gord, has had that cycle pressure that you like to see, push them back where they cannot attack and they start to be just totally defensive. Eventually, you wear through their defenses that way.
Now Spets with a backhand shot, puts it wide. Here's Wierkosh with it. Patrick Wierkosh comes jumping in. Drops it back in the corner, and spinning back is McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon pulls it back in front. Kevin gets the blocker down. Here's Duchesne on it. Back at the point for Wierkosh. He shoots off the stick of Trejo. It goes and wide. And David Savard steps up, finds Duchesne, feeds it back in front. Spezza can't get a shot away. And the rebound put wide by McKinnon. French, a pretty well-organized team, though, right? Finished 8th last year. Their second top 10 finish the last 3 years. They've been in the A group at the World Championship since 2008.
Co-host in 2017 with Cologne.
So a lot of teams are hoping for the Paris side of that draw. Yes. No offense to Cologne. Braden Shen centers it, walking in. A chance there for Toffoli. Turned away by Kemmener, and a penalty coming now. It'll be Hekefeuille who goes off for the French. So Canada will get the earliest power play of this game as Hekefeuille goes off for hooking.
Quick up in the middle of the ice, and Shen's going to get the puck. Nice little backhand flip to Toffoli. There's clearly the hook. So Canada's power play, which hasn't had to be great, but has 3 power play goals in the last couple of games, will go up for their first opportunity this afternoon, right at the 10-minute mark.
And of course, it was a critical power play goal by Tyler Ennis in the 3rd period against Sweden. They made it 5-4 in favor of Canada. Here's Burns with it. Brent Burns comes walking in, looks for the tip from O'Reilly, and the save made by Kemmener. Now Burns back with it. Across the top he goes, feeds across to Crosby, centers it for Eberle. His shot stopped by Kemmener. And Ronan Kemmener, who's something of a surprise starter for this game. Pretty impressive so far, turning away everything he's seen. Now it's played out by Damien Rowe, and that goes into the Canadian bench.
As Kemmener gets the start against Canada, it was Florian Hardy who played against the Czech Republic the other night. So Cristobal Huet, their 39-year-old starter, gets a couple of nights off. He played the first 3 games, Germany, Switzerland, and Austria. Gets a couple of the big boys off as the French really look to their last game as well.
A .952 save percentage so far in the tournament. Here's Barry. Across to Spezza, a slap pass in front for Ennis. Can't get the shot away the first time, and now it's fired down. French have had some colorful coaches over the years, none more so than back in '98 when their World Championship and Olympic Games teams were coached by Herb Brooks. In the Nagano Olympics and the World Championship that year. Barry feeds across to Sagan. Back to Barry, who tees it up, thinking that Herb's English-speaking players couldn't understand what he was saying half the time. I wonder what the French thought of him. Now Barry for Sagan. He pounds that wide out. It goes to Hall. Barry back with it. 40 seconds to go in this power play. In for Spezza. An old slap pass. Sagan takes it and scores. Tyler Sagan. Power play goal, and Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
Really good movement across the top. Barry's going to get the puck at the top of the blue line and walk to his left. And when he goes back to Spezza, who's long made a career out of moving the puck on the power play, he's got his head up. He's going to go behind Tyler Ennis. You see the French defense is tied up with Ennis at the front. They're looking for the pass shot to Ennis, but it's the pass to Sagan, and Sagan's got goals in 3 straight after a rather slow start to the tournament. So the Dallas teammates hook up, but Canada's got a 1-0 lead.
37 goals in 71 games this year for Tyler Seguin, who was injured on a hit by Dmitry Kulikov of the Florida Panthers. That put him out for 11 games. Kulikov got suspended, but not long enough as far as Dallas was concerned. And Kulikov is here playing for the Russians. Canada meet them later on. Now Couturier works in. Sean Couturier winds and shoots, and Kemener makes the glove save and hangs on.
Active start for Couturier. There's Tyler Seguin. He told us prior to the tournament when they played the exhibition game against Austria, he felt like he was flying all over the ice but never got near the puck. It took some adjustment and a little bit of a slow start in the first couple games, but there he and Spezza have hooked up on that play before. On the power play, it goes to Seguin and he makes no mistake, and Canada's got the lead on the power play.
This is Seguin's first IIHF competition for Canada. He didn't play in a summer tournament known as the Memory of Ivan Hlinka. It's an under-18 tournament played in Slovakia in August. That would be about his only big ice experience aside from playing on some OHL rinks that have big ice. Is that shot by Spezza is stopped by Kemener, but it is a different experience, is it not?
It is, and you get moving sometimes and you feel like you're just flying, and then the puck is 90 feet away from you. You're not even close to it. You have to rethink the way you attack the middle of the ice because you get lost in the middle. You never get near the net when the puck's there.
Damian Rahl brings it out, and Sasha Trail got knocked off it there in a collision with Jake Muzzin, who finds Spezza. Long lead feed for Duchesne, who's busted in, and now Matt Duchesne for sharp angle shoots. Kemener makes the stop, and it's kicked away in front by Johan Abitud. Counts are 12-2 in favor of Canada. Here's Nathan MacKinnon with it. Spins back along the boards. MacKinnon centers it. In comes Eberle. A backhand shot. Scores! Jordan Eberle. Just broke a piece of equipment as he hammered the camera in the middle of the net. And it's 2-0 on his second of the World Championship.
Good cycle work by Canada. Goals 1 minute and 6 seconds apart. Eberle's going to be the beneficiary of the work of MacKinnon and Duchesne below the goal line. Eberle comes off the bench on a change. The goaltender, Kemener, doesn't pick this up. Look, he's right in the middle of the net. He doesn't even see the puck. Bam, right off the camera. And so Eberle hooks up with Duchesne and MacKinnon, and it's 2-0 Canada.
I'm going to say that's going to be the last we're going to see of that in-goal camera for the next little while until they get somebody to have a look at that.
It's a good guess, assuming there's pieces of it in the crease.
Here's Hall back with it with Eberle and Crosby. Hall walks back in front. His pass deflected away by Claro. Hall plays it back, helped by Burns along wrist shot. And Kemener steers that away. Hall back with it for Crosby. Bugs off the check and feeds it back to Hamhuis for a long drive. Kemener the save. And Hamhuis can't hold it and has to trail back along with Burns.
Gord, we were talking about the start, and I said if you cycle and continue to cycle, eventually you break the other team down, and you can see what's happened now. Is after a couple of decent chances early for the French, they can't organize to get the puck with control over the center line very often. It's been a really good middle 10 minutes here for Canada.
What you see with teams that are ranked lower is sometimes their top-end lines can stay with the top-end teams. It's the third and fourth that have some difficulties, especially against Canada, which has got a pretty loaded lineup up front this year.
Well, certainly the French would be wanting to focus on Crosby and Giroux's line, and how are they going to match the last two lines? I mean, those are guys that have scored 20 to 25 goals in the NHL. There's just not enough depth to do that.
Away comes Claude Giroux, dashing in as Giroux spins back as Canada's making a late change. Down to Ryan O'Reilly, crisscrossing with Seguin. Here's O'Reilly to Seguin, that pass misfired. Aaron Ekblad comes jumping up. He was a key figure in that game against Sweden as well. Scored the first Canadian goal to get them back in it. The 19-year-old has 2 goals for Canada in this tournament.
And that was a wild scramble, and Canada was starting to press the play. He jumped up into the slot for the rebound, and Canada was off and running.
Now Roussel centers it. Picked off by Couturier, who got tangled up there with Tim DeCosta, the brother of Stefan DeCosta, who again is not playing this afternoon. As Ennis comes in, the play is offside. 5:26 to go here in the first period. Canada with a 2-0 lead.
Rated deeper.
16-2, the shots in favor of Canada so far here in the first period. 5:25 remaining. Canada's got 10 players on the roster who have at least 4 points so far in this tournament.
Every game it seems to be a different point of attack for Canada.
This is nominally Canada's fourth line as that long shot taken by Burns is stopped by Kemener. So you've got on this fourth line Tyler Ennis, who's a 20-goal scorer in the NHL. Sean Couturier, who had 15, and Braden Shen at 18.
Pretty good fourth line. And, you know, Ennis was the guy that fell out of the mix a little bit the other night as Canada was mounting that comeback against the Swedes, and they get a third period power play, and it's Ennis's power play goal that turned out to be the game winner.
That shot was blocked. How the Swedes bounce back tonight against Switzerland will be an interesting thing to watch, and we'll show you that game between those two. A devastating loss for the Swedes. We're still talking about it a day later. Now Ham uses a shot. Kemener steers that away.
It was such an odd loss for the way the Swedes play. I mean, generally speaking, they get a 3-goal lead and they just smother the game away, but they just weren't able to handle Canada in the middle period in particular.
Now Duchesne tries to throw it in front. Not quite 1 o'clock yet local time. The first wave is rolling around. My favorite scene on the streets of Prague today was coming to the rink around 9:45 and seeing the first tray of giant beers being served to fans here. Here's Spezza with it for Duchesne. 5 o'clock somewhere. Muzzin drops it back for McKinnon. And McKinnon stripped by Bertrand. Looks ahead to Claro. And Claro finds Anthony Gutting. In comes Gutting with a chance now. He's poked check and McKinnon's got it back for Canada. 4-on-3 they come. McKinnon streaking through the zone. In he comes. McKinnon shoots it off a stick and wide. Under 4 to go here in the opening period. Duchesne on it. And Duchesne's stick snapped in half. That is a word to the official on the way by. And Yorick Trail has it. Drops it back for Meunier. And Abertu with a shot and stopped by Martin Jones. It's the third shot of the game for the French. Abertu tries to work his way back in, being channeled there by Savard. The centering pass goes back to DeRosier. Shot scores! Julien DeRosier makes it 2-1 in favor of Canada.
And this shot goes between the pad and glove of Martin Jones as the French get a couple of chances. Good work down below the goal line here as Abertu, who had the first shot, stayed with it. All kinds of time to shoot the puck. Jones has probably got to squeeze that between the glove and pad. The puck goes across. Crosby tries to knock it out of the air. And this actually hits the bottom of Martin Jones's glove. And the French are on the board.
DeRosier is actually born in Canada. Born just outside Rimouski in Saint-Anselme-de-la-Salle. Spent 4 years in the Quebec Major Junior League. He qualifies to play for France as he has French parentage and plays for Rouen in their domestic league. So the shots are 17-4. And the Canadian lead is 2-1. In comes Crosby. Sidney Crosby working in. That's knocked away by Janil. And back to picking up his Ham use. Now a bouncing puck in front for Taylor DeCosta. He rolls that wide. And Roussel has it taken away by Hall. In comes Taylor Hall. In shoots, coming out of the save. The rebound. Hall shoots again. Centers it now. Walking at his Muzzin. Feeds it across, and Crosby chipped it wide.
Wide open net for Crosby. Had more time than he thought. Really nice look by Jake Muzzin.
Echafoyle with it. He was in the penalty box for the first Canadian goal. Now that pass misses Charles Bertrand, and that'll be icing against France with 2:23 to go in the period.
There's Julien DeRosier, the 34-year-old, the recipient of a nice pass here across the front from Meunier. His shot beats Martin Jones, and when you're the underdog, what you're looking for is belief. belief that you can hang in the game. The longer you stay in touch with it, the more you feel maybe you can sneak something out of it. And for the French here, totally outshot and dominated for most of this period. They look at this and say 17 and a half minutes, we're one shot away.
And Kemener hasn't been bad in the French goal.
No, a little concerning with the side-to-side movement when Eberle scores into the middle of the net on the backhand. We'll see if that gets exploited somewhere along the afternoon.
Now to Foley with a steal. Plays it across for Barry. The one difference, of course, Ray, for the World Junior Championship is a lot of smaller countries and smaller hockey nations can't field a full 20 of players who are under 20. But here, in an open tournament, the French can cobble together a decent unit of 20 skaters.
And there's another side to that too as well, Gord, is in the junior tournament, of course, you're dealing with 16, 17, 18, 19-year-old kids. By the time you get these men together, they're 25, 28, they're stronger, they can box out the front of the net a little bit more, they have more experience. A smaller nation can hang in, and their goaltender, there's no question, their goaltender has to be the best player on the ice. And so if France is going to string this game along, Kemener is going to have to be solid in goal.
As we speak, Belarus is playing Russia, and that's the battle for first place.
What a tournament for Belarus so far.
Another country that can put together a pretty decent lineup of 20 players.
Ilya Kovalchuk with the only goal of that first period. It's 1-0 Russia.
80 seconds to go here in the opening period. Picked up by Lampellier. Tries to drop it back. And Didier Favel had it knocked down. Now played back out to center ice. In comes Luc Lampellier. Battling the corner. And the puck squirts free for a moment to DeRosier. Trying to find Janil at the point. And finally Wierkosh slides it back out to center ice inside a minute to go in the first period. And Savard goes back for it. Steps away from Meunier. Spezza slides it in. Giroux bangs it down. Kemener makes the stop and shovels out across the Heckefoot. Saakashvili for Meunier. Meunier working in. Squeezed off the puck there by Handhughes. Now DeRosier centers it. Ennis waiting for Canada, and Spezza's got it back. Jason Spezza for Tyler Ennis. In comes Ennis, drops for Burns with a hard drive that goes wide. And now scooped up quickly by Damien Fleury in the dying second of the period. In comes Fleury for a sharp angle, shoots Jones to save. And the rebound skipped away there from Saakashvili, who was trailing in. And the French get a shot away at the horn. But Canada will go to the dressing room with a 2-1 lead after the opening 20 minutes. You're watching the 2015 World Hockey Championship from Prague.
Canada leading France at the World Hockey Championship. Rod Black along with Bob Airy. Todd McClellan wanted a quick start. Team Canada came out flying, but they had the French wall up.
Well, you got to go against the tough wall of that France. They're going to clog things up in the middle of the ice, so you got to come with speed, go wide, get pucks to the net. This is what France has put up. The picket fence or more. And you can't force yourself into that, or you're going to turn the puck the other way. Get pucks to the net, get on the forecheck. That's what Canada's trying to do early, outshooting the French 19-6 in the first period. But don't force it there. And the best chance early came off the stick of Antoine Roussel of the Dallas Stars. Pass off the pad, boom, missed that. Well,
premature celebration.
Thought it was a goal there, Rob, but it wasn't, and that would have been a big goal for France. It didn't turn out to go the French way, but they did not give up in that period.
We talk so much about the firepower on Team Canada, but how about this fourth line?
Fourth line's got firepower too. Not only do they have that, but they have hitting. And they started this hockey game for Tom McClellan. Braden Shen drew into this hockey game. He put up 47 points for the Flyers. Couturier, 15 goals for the Flyers. They came out banging. After that start, there's Shen to Toffoli, who had over 20 goals and 5 shorties. So they can put the puck in the net too, but they draw the power play. There's the shot pass to the stick of Seguin, and Seguin, boy, no panic at all. Puts the Canadians up 1-0 in the game. And they have a 2-1 lead after one.
Tyler Seguin had kind of a slow start to this tournament. He's really turned it on lately, and the goal scorer on the power play is with Brian Mudryk.
Tyler, I know Coach wanted to have better starts in the tournament. How would you assess your guys' first 20 minutes?
It was okay. Obviously, getting a couple quick goals is nice. But we haven't played as good as we can yet. So could have had an even better start, but we're looking forward to the next period.
You have 3 goals now in 3 games. Personally, how do you feel you're adjusting, and how's your game coming along?
Yeah, I think the first few games I definitely felt the rust and adjusting to the ice. Some guys have been doing better at getting to it right away, and it's taking me some time, but I'm happy I'm starting to find the back of the net.
2 days off and back on the ice in this one. Was there anything that you guys wanted to work on going forward in the tournament?
Yeah, I think we got a good team here, obviously on paper, and it's been about putting it all together. Obviously, a team with superstars might not do well in a tournament, and we've been putting it all together and done a good job.
Thanks. Good luck in the second.
Yeah, thanks.
2-1 Canada over France, 1-0 Russia. You've got to see this goal.
Yes, Ilya Kovalchuk. You've heard about the no-look pass. How about the no-look shot? And Kovalchuk does it beautifully. He's got a bouncing puck. Anisimov's going to the net, and Ilya Kovalchuk's able to score in Lalonde. But he's looking. He's looking over Anisimov. He's not going there, is he? Is he? Lalonde? He never looked once at the net when he was from the blue line in. Beautiful stuff. And then Bobrovsky, he stuffed Demkov on the penalty shot late, and it's 1-0. But Ilya Kovalchuk, his second goal of the tournament was beautiful.
You usually see guys do that if they no look on the off wing, but to do that way, that's tremendous hand-eye coordination. He's one of the best in the world. 34th career World Championship goal. Team Canada breaks the camera, Jordan Eberle, but hey, the Frenchman's still hanging in. 2-1 after 1. SportsCenter update on its way.
Ronan Cremonnet faces 19 shots in that first period, allows 2 goals, 1 on the power play. Martin Jones making his second start, allows 1 goal on 6 shots in the Canadian goal. 2-1 to score, heading for the second period. And don't forget, we talked about this. France beat Canada in the shootout last year, but the year before beat the Russians even more impressively. Now, the one common thread for those 2 games was goaltending of Cristobal Huet, who is not only not playing today, he's not dressed for the French. They'll save him for games later in the tournament. They've got Sweden and Latvia still to come. Now Couturier picks off that early pass and moves into the corner of Meunier. John Couturier plays it back to Dan Ham. Here's his shot, pinballs around in front, played up by Johan Avatue.
I don't know that Canada needs to change very much. They had the 19 shots. They had several good opportunities. And just keep pushing and keep forechecking, and eventually you break through. And for the French, it's just melt minutes off the clock, take advantage of whatever chances you can get.
Burns a long shot. Kemener rather fights that off, and the puck bounced away from Couturier.
The first 10 minutes of this period will likely tell the story about what this game's going to look like. If the French can hang in there, then it's going to be a tougher afternoon for Canada, but Canada will, if they can get a couple here, they'll spread it out.
He pass for a streaking Tyler Seguin, who chips it down. Dorian Shakashvili goes back for it. And loose in the corner, Tyson Barrie now tries to center it. The pass blocked by Damien Fleury. Shakashvili comes in to help out as well. Now Seguin takes it away. Feeds back for Jake Muzzin and Tyson Barrie. Barrie throws it around for Seguin. Shakashvili gets a stick on him. And Muzzin back with it. Back for Giroux. Plays it across to Barrie. Tyson Barrie. Feeds down to Ryan O'Reilly, who shields off his man. Seguin's got it now. Back down to O'Reilly. He and Shakashvili collide again. And O'Reilly just missing that check by Teddy DaCosta. This French group's been on the ice for a while now. Teddy DaCosta picks it up. They'll bank that by Barrie and down, and this won't help the French. It's an icing call, and Coach Dave Henderson may have to call timeout here.
Great idea by DaCosta. He was just trying to lay it out to center ice, but he shot the puck too hard. There's Dave Henderson behind the French bench, and Todd McClellan gets a fresh line of players, and it's Spezza who'll take the draw. Duchesne, who's the natural centerman, and Tyler Ennis. O'Reilly started on this game, so McClellan, or on this line rather, so McClellan moving Tyler Ennis up the lineup a little bit here.
So no timeout for Henderson, but the French get the puck out and allows them to start the change. Savard chips it ahead, but the pass was off a stick. Up and out of play, and the face-off will come back outside.
Almost hit the Skoda car in the arena.
You guys put a cash prize in that, didn't you?
There always is. There's 2 cars parked just outside the arena, and the first time you come to Europe and you see it, you're like, oh, we can hit that.
The mesh has made it a little more difficult, however.
Yes, it really has.
Better for fans and for cars. One year this tournament, back in '93 in Munich, the prize for the MVP was 2,000 liters of beer. To give you an idea of how much that is, a bottle of beer I think is 454 milliliters. So it'd be like 2 bottles of beer in a liter.
4,000 beers?
4,000 bottles of beer, roughly.
What can you take through customs?
They shipped it to Eric Lindros is the MVP. They shipped it to him. Barsteiner beer. I'm hoping some of it came in kegs or something. Because 2,000 empties. I'm not sure they take the empties back in North America. So. 3 gone here in the second period. Spezza looks ahead for Hall. Plays onside. Hall for Crosby. In shoots. He missed short side. Crosby had scored in 3 straight games until he was held without a goal in the game against Sweden. Now Hall with it for Eberle. Claro comes in, but Valentin Claro is stripping the puck. Claro, by the way, from Saint-Pierre-et-Miquelon, which is a French principality, right off the coast of Newfoundland. So 25 kilometers off the coast of Newfoundland. The French have always claimed that as their own territory. About 6,000 people live there. And they play hockey a lot against teams from Newfoundland and Atlantic Canada. Not far from Mr. Crosby was born in Cole Harbour, Nova Scotia on August 7th, 1987. 87.
People very excited to get a glimpse live of Sidney Crosby. And without question, the organizers of the tournament, who are already expecting big crowds, got 2 huge booths with Jaromir Jagr and Sidney Crosby. We see more of those 2 jerseys, although the Jagr jerseys are just everywhere.
In comes Braden Shin with a drive. He put that high and wide. Bounces by Tyson Barrie and back out. The waiter at the hotel yesterday told me that he thinks Sidney Crosby is very good.
Should be a scout.
Yes. Could do worse. In comes Roussel now for the French. That pass just missed Laurent Meunier. Now the centering pass for Roussel, knocked away, and Shen's got it. Break wide pass for Toffoli. Tyler Toffoli in, shoots, and ramps off the stick of Didier Favel. Up and out of play.
Toffoli had a goal in each of the first 2 games for Canada. He's done a good job penalty killing, although Canada's only been shorthanded 9 times in their first 4 games. They've done a really nice job keeping their feet moving, making sure they defend with body and not stick, which gets called all the time here in Europe.
Giroux steps in with a face-off, but it's won cleanly by Damien Rahl. Now play called again here with 4.5 gone, offside the call.
The more choppy things are, the better it is for the French, the more frustrated Canada gets. There is an expectation that you're going to be able to move the puck pretty freely, you're going to be able to skate, and you start to feel crowded, you start to feel almost claustrophobic in a game like this. And this is a challenge Canada will have. Because you can see a little bit of it now when they don't move the puck, when they fumble it around, which has happened 3 or 4 times in this period.
Giroux for Sagan. Tyler Sagan has a look, a long shot right on. Kevin there makes the save. There's no rebound. These are hard games to win for favorites because if you win 10-0, you're supposed to. And if you don't, what's wrong with you?
The Swedes had a close call the other night.
Yeah.
It turned out to be a 4-3 win for them against Germany, and that game was tied in the third period. And I mean, we look at the two teams, and you would think for sure Sweden's just going to walk over them.
Well, they play a best of 7. At worst, Sweden wins in 5. At worst. But think about it. In single elimination hockey, the very best teams, the most dominant teams we've ever seen in the NHL, lose a few games in the playoffs.
Of course they do. And so for a team like France, they don't care whether they're the best team or not. They know they're not. You just have to be for a couple hours.
To quote that great French coach, Herb Brooks, before the 1980 Olympics, we don't have to play them 10 times. We only have to play them once. Now it comes Burns with, backhands it high and wide. Machine back on it.
Brent Burns loves the big ice. He is all over the place in the offensive zone. He skates into the play. You know, 2 years ago, he was the right winger for Joe Thornton. This past year, they moved him back to defense and had an outstanding offensive year, 17 goals. But Todd McClellan saw a lot of the wander in San Jose. Burns thinks the game like a forward.
The top D at the 2008 World Championship, played in Quebec City and Halifax. Canada won the gold medal in 07 on Russian ice. The Russians returned the favor in 2008 in Quebec City. The Russians are defending world champions going into this event. As Everly drops it down. Here's Hall for a sharp angle. Flips it back in front. And Everly turned away by Kemener. Now Hall back with it. Centers it. And Kemener got a blocker on that. Jonathan Janil looks ahead. And Meunier slides it down the ice. That'll be an icing call against the French.
Shots 23-6 for Canada. There's some cycle work. Crosby gets it down. Everly and Hall play catch. And nice little dish from Taylor Hall. Flat. Everly goes to the front of the net, but that's a pretty strong play by Julien Desrosiers on Everly's stick, so he doesn't get good wood on it and chips it wide of the net.
Shots are 4-0 here in the second period. Vladimir Tarasenko has scored for the Russians. They're up 2-0 on Belarus now. Tarasenko, a welcome addition to the Russian lineup. As Crosby tries to center, just missed Hall. Barry. Long shot knocked down by Crosby. Now Hall with it. Shoots it, dribbles down to Kemener, knocks it away. The Czech fans are up and hopping. The words to this song, by the way, in part are, if you are not hopping, you are not Czech.
Which I guess is why we're sitting down. We did learn that on the Metro the other day.
I'm hopping inside, right? Rink wide pass goes to Barry as Canada's changing. Tyson Barry winds in a backhand shot, stopped by Kemener. Kennedy Costa plays it back down to the Canadian line. Muzzin plays it up for Giroux. He finds O'Reilly. And Ryan O'Reilly muscles around Kennedy Costa. And now Roussel's got it. Antoine Roussel. Got knocked away. Ekblad feeds it out for O'Reilly. And O'Reilly fires that down to the French zone. Costa slides that by Giroux. And now Roussel on it. Antoine Roussel, known as a bit of a penalty magnet with the Dallas Stars, lost the puck. Now Couturier with it. Couturier centers it. Abitu's got it and lifts it back out to center ice. Although, I should say that Roussel, pretty productive for a guy who spends as much time in the box as he does. As Couturier comes in and shoots, and Kemener makes the save.
14 and 13 goals the last couple of years for Roussel.
He's got more penalty minutes the last 2 years than any other NHL player. Now Hamhughes shoots. That's off the stick of Bertrand, up and out. Canada leads 2-1 here in the second period. Welcome to Saturday afternoon in Prague, just after 1 o'clock local time. 1:15 if you want to be precise about it.
I love how you look at your watch to get the time. The clock is right there. It's got the day time right underneath the game time. It's right where you're looking.
Look at my watch. Leave me alone. Having a nice weekend here. Lero had it knocked away. Here's Burns with it. And Toffoli drops it back for Couturier. I was going to tell a nice story about you, but now I'm not.
No, that's all right.
In comes Ham, use a drive, he put it wide. And Burns steps up, drops it back. Toffoli hammers that. And over the glass it goes.
Gordon, Canada's just, when I watch them right now, they're just playing. They're not into the inside of the ice. They're controlling the puck. They're getting lots of shots, but they're not on the interior part of the ice. That's where the game can be blown wide open because France can't defend them in the middle of the ice. They're just kind of playing the game. They're ahead. They're in no danger, it seems like, yet they're one shot away, one turnover, one chance.
But how many years, Ray, have we seen this in international hockey where it's so easy for a team to stay between the dots, just defend the middle,
sure, and just leave them outside. Now I look at Matt Duchene. He's really sour. He got kicked out of the face-off circle, and he's just given it to the linesman. Pretty soon the frustration.
Now a penalty coming to Canada.
And it's Duchene.
Down. It's a slash by Duchene. Meunier goes down, and now Duchene gets in his face. Got to be careful you don't get 10. McKinnon's in a shoving match now with Didier-Favell.
So we just watched Duchene lose his temper because he got kicked out of the face-off circle. He was yelling at the linesman. He was yelling at the player. Now the referee's telling him, beat it. You already got a penalty. So Canada's going to have to penalty kill, more than likely, with a one-goal lead. Okay, so Duchene is sour that Meunier got his stick up on the hand. You see him, he's just giving it to him. And so as they back check up the ice, he whacks him on the hands. Now that's a bit of a sell job, of course, but that's not the point. The point is that started back in the face-off circle, and it's an undisciplined penalty, unfortunately, for Matt Duchene to take. He believes it's a dive. The officials are all huddled together.
So a long conversation here about what the penalty might be, or penalties.
Claude Giroux's over talking to Antoine Roussel. And Roussel kind of shrugged his shoulders. I'm sure it was about the penalty. The only penalty on the board is Matt Duchene's slashing penalty. And Duchene's right. I mean, this is a sell job for sure. Absolutely it is. I mean, he's lost the glove. He's lost his stick.
He threw the glove off of the hand that wasn't slashed, didn't he?
And then right away, once he stops sliding, he gets up to argue with Duchene. But it is a slashing penalty. And they always do this in the international hockey.
Have they booked somebody here? He's got this book out.
Well, look, there's a penalty up on each side. So that would be a roughing penalty after the initial slash, because this is Saakashvili that is going across. I believe, nope, sorry, it's Didier-Favell going across.
They've now taken his penalty off the board, though. This is interesting.
So that, I'm not going to guess, but that's, if the penalty's off the board, it's a misconduct then.
By the way, it's 1:17:40 if you're wondering what time it is now.
There you go, you finally found the day clock.
Look at the clock, that's pretty neat. So it is a power play for France. Duchene is the only penalty on the board. And Costa plays it down.
Nathan McKinnon's in the penalty box here. We can't quite see the box from where we are, so it looks like matching roughing penalties to Didier-Favell and McKinnon.
And now playing out the Canadian zone, and Canadians clear it right back down as Avenue has to go back for it.
A place here where the French really miss Stefan Costa. He does a lot of his damage on the power play, really can shoot the puck.
So it's a 5-on-4 power play. Couturier knocks it out. Didier-Favell and McKinnon got offsetting roughing minors. And the original slash goes to Duchene as Toffoli picks it up. Canada has not allowed a power play goal yet in the tournament.
It's the 10th time shorthanded.
And Toffoli trying to shoot it out, knocked down by DeRosier. DeRosier, who has the French goal, that's now to Sacha Trail. And here's Trail with it. Sounds like I'm saying your hometown with a French accent.
That's as close as it might be. Yeah.
Now to Foley. Lead pass Misses Couturier. 30 seconds to go on the Duchesne slashing minor. But there's an example, Ray, of something that might come into play later on in a game in the quarters, the semis, or the gold medal game, where the official will pick you out for something like that. They'll know you're hot, and they'll cool you off with a 2-minute penalty.
Right after Duchesne got kicked out of the faceoff, the referee went over to Duchesne where he was still yelling at Meunier. So they already have it in their head. They're already watching. And frustration bubbled over for Matt Duchesne. Fortunately for Canada, it's not going to cost him as he steps onto the ice. It's an excellent kill for Canada. No shots.
No shots this period now for France. And in behind the Canadian goal, a train wreck, and now the other way comes Giroux on a breakaway close. Giroux in the backhand, lifted it high and wide. Yolik trail was knocked down and behind the play. Now the centering pass for Duchesne. Feeds it back across, and Foley misses the one-timer in front. He was bowled over by Anthony Leck.
Trejo was hit by Brent Burns behind the bench. He's getting some attention on the French bench.
Now trailing back is Ekblad, being watched there by Leck. Late addition to the French lineup was Leck. He played the game against the Czechs. And Avion plays it down low to Leck. There's a discarded stick down there causing trouble. Now Crosby whacks at the bouncing puck, and Ekblad plays it out. Steal now by Crosby with Hall and Eberle. Centering pass was broken up by Avion. And back to pick it up is Overture. Johan Overture. Rink wide for Guttig, knocked away there by Martin Jones. Not to the credit, that was a shot. And now Ennis up for Spezza. And back down to the Canadian line it goes, and Jones sweeps it across for Barry. Tucks away from Claro, up to Spezza. That long pass misses Heckfoyle. And that's icing call against Canada with 7.5 to go in the second period.
So here's the play where Burns, oh, that would hurt, shoves York Trejo into the boards, and Trejo ended up slow to his feet, and it led to this Claude Giroux breakaway. Nice stop by the goaltender, Kemener, and then the puck came right back to Duchesne. He tried to slide it to Tyler Toffoli in the back door. 12.5 minutes into the second period. It's still 2-1.
Shots are 8-0 Canada. Now Barry snaps it rink wide for Ennis. Coyle goes back for it. Ennis stays on hand. Throws out in the slot for Spezza, reaching for it. Bouncing puck picked up by Giroux. Low Giroux down for Ennis. To Spezza. They crisscross. Ennis back with it. Feeds in front for Burns with a shot that was blocked. And the save made by Kemenero hangs on. 2-1. Canada leads. Over 7 to go in the second period. Canada, which lost to France last year in the World Championship, it was an opening game for both teams on the first day of the tournament. It was a 3-2 shootout defeat. Canada had won the previous 4 meetings. France has been in the top group, as I mentioned, since 2008. Last qualified for the Olympics in Salt Lake City in 2002. For the 1 year they qualified for the World Junior Championship. There's the German coach Pat Cortina looking on. His team off today.
He's probably hoping for a little bit different result than what he's seeing here. The French a little too close for comfort. The Germans with 6 points in
a big win against Latvia yesterday.
Trailing 1-0. They ended up with 7 minutes in power plays in the third period. They got 1 power play goal, which tied the game, and then they got a late one with about 2 minutes left. A really difficult loss for Latvia, who is, I've been kind of impressed with them, Gord. They play hard. They've gotten good goaltending.
Now back goes to Burns with a wrist shot. He hammered that wide.
But now they're in trouble. Latvia is with just 2 points.
Burns plays it back. Hamhuis a shot that ticks off the post. Goes over the glass and out. So the situation is this. Latvia has only 2 points. But those 2 points came in an overtime win against Switzerland.
Here's the Hamhuis shot off the crossbar. Good tee up by Burns, and Hamhuis, who had 1 goal in the regular season, almost matched that right there.
The final game of the regular season even. But Latvia has the tiebreaker on Switzerland, which plays Sweden tonight, then Canada, then the Czechs to finish. But possible, as Hall takes that shot, possible that Switzerland won't get another point. Latvia, meantime, has Austria and France left. If they win those 2 games for 3 points each, they tie the Swiss, hold the tiebreaker over them, and qualify for the medal round. That's their hope. But right now, Latvia's in last place. As you mentioned, they played really well, but they're in last place. They've got the tough schedule, though, opening with Canada, the Czechs, and the Swedes.
Yeah, I mean, that's having the Czechs, Canada, and Sweden in this pool is like an anvil hanging over your head. Eventually, you'd think it would drop on you, but the French have hung in here. I've been really impressed, actually, as the game has flattened out to the speed that they want it to be. Even though the play is mostly in their zone, they haven't scrambled all over the place. And you know, they lost to Germany 2-1. They lost to the Swiss 3-0. They beat Austria 2-0. Lost 5-1 to the Czechs, but the games are low scoring. They're tight. That's the way they have to play, and they've really done a good job in it. And right now, Canada's gonna have to continue to fight, but I think the key here, Gord, is they've got to get to the middle of the ice. They have not had enough shot, second shot, rebound, traffic plays around the goaltender. And Ronan Kemener in his first World Championship start for Coach Dave Henderson has done a terrific job.
Henderson spent 21 seasons playing in Europe, mostly in France. I mentioned a Winnipeg native. Been the coach of the French national hockey team since 2005. And now they've got a problem with the ice where the post goes in. By the way, the net camera that Jordan Eberle broke is still dangling from the net in the first period.
And that might be a between games job.
It's moving a little bit. Hot day outside. And 3 games on this ice surface today. So the Sweden-Switzerland game in the third period could be interesting, when the 9th period at least is played, barring overtime. Russia now with a 3-0 lead on Belarus. And the game's lead on Ostrava, which is a couple hours east of here, right near the Polish border.
That's where the U.S. is in their pool. Pekka Rinne's on quite a shutout streak there.
And
50 minutes or so.
Let's say a modern day shutout sequence record in this tournament. He's the top goaltender at last year's event. Making further with it to Shakashvili. And he fires it down the Canadian zone. That'll be icing call against France. And Ray, this pace suits the French just fine.
They'll keep chipping it out to center, skate, get up to the red line and defend again. You sit and stare at the clock after a while if you're in a red jersey, and you actually can't believe it after some time.
Now Duchesne picks it up, shovels it back in front. Kemener knocks it down. Equifoil. That pass deflected away. McKinnon drops it back to Barry. Tyson Barry, a long shot. Claro up for good. Got his pocket picked by McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon shoots and looking for the tip of Spezza, but Kemener knocked that away. Shot wide by Muzzin. Now Barry for McKinnon. Nathan McKinnon feeds it down. Duchesne. Back for Spezza. Spezza peels back in the corner. And again, that's where Pickford.
Great puck possession, but there's nobody within 15 feet of the net. Now only do they get guys there.
In comes Barry now with a shot. Kemener makes the stop. The rebound drops down. And backhanded down the ice by Anthony Goodnick. That'll be an icing call against the French. So Tyson Barry comes down Main Street.
Really good work as Spezza's controlling the puck. Just prior to this, as we look at the Tyson Barry chance, Spezza, Duchesne, and McKinnon were about 10 feet apart in the right-hand corner. Controlling the puck, cycling the puck, but don't forget, the rink is 15 feet wider here. You were so far from the net there, you can't even shoot it from that position. As the French take their time out here with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left and a tired group on the ice and the face-off in their zone.
So again, if you're just joining us, i.e. just waking up back in Canada, Brent Burns has not been stuck in the wilderness for 3 weeks.
And he actually had time to get ready for that picture. I just think that's the way he combs his hair anyway. He's been very active. We've talked about his ability to get around the offensive zone, and Burns set up that last play on that pass you saw there to Hamhuis that hit the crossbar, but this defense pair is by far the unit that the Canadian team goes to, leans on the most. Hamhuis and Brent Burns.
Shots are 12-0 Canada here in the period. Good extenders for Claro, just missed. And Claro took Hamhuis in. Hamhuis back with it. Claro watching him. Gudik now. Squeeze on the butt by Hamhuis. And O'Reilly for Burns. Inside 5 to go in this second period. Giroux to Burns. Burns plays it down to Giroux, spinning and shooting. Now the centering pass, Kemenard, and be careful with that. And Burns goes back as the French will change. 4 to go in the second period. Burns goes wide of the goal, and they're going to call icing, I believe, against Canada here. Kemenard kind of waved that on the way by.
There's Claro going to the front of the net, and he runs right over top of Hamhuis. As Hamhuis is going to set to try and keep him away from the net, but Claro knows the puck is coming from the outside. He wants to go to that far post, and he aggressively runs into Dan Hamhuis.
Overall, the shots are 31-6 in favor of Canada. There's an issue on the name bench. Tom McClellan didn't like that icing call.
So in Martin Jones's 4+ periods, he had 4 shots, 3 shots, and 10 against Germany. He's had 6 and 0 so far in this game. A lot of standing around down there for Jones, and he gave up the 1 goal on the chance in the first period, but he's touched the puck a couple of times this period, but that's been a long time between saves for him.
Here's Crosby, a backhand shot knocked away. Crosby has it back. Crosby spins right back to the front of the net, shoots, it goes wide. Kemenard being shadowed there by Eberle, who screened him, and now Eberle back with it. Eberle throws it back in front for Crosby. Hall's stick was knocked out of his hands. He grabs it back, and a penalty coming to France. Weirkosh in for Eberle. The extra skater comes on. It's Spezza. Weirkosh back with it. Looks across to Crosby. Crosby to Spezza. Feeds it back across, and finally the French touch up. Fleury touches it. And now play is called, and Canada with 3:11 to go will go to the power play as an interference call goes against France. It'll be Damien Fleury who goes off.
A couple of goals in the tournament for Fleury. And he goes down to the corner and knocks the stick. You see Hall's stick flying out of his hands towards the net. So Weirkosh has got Roussel's hand tied up, and he didn't like that, so he goes over and talks to the official about it. Canada scored on their only power play of the game.
And comes Sagan, feeds across to Spezza. Jason Spezza slaps it back across. Sagan shoots, scores!
Same play. Same play. Spezza, Sagan, but this one goes right through the goaltender. And after making several really good saves, Claro whiffs on this one, and it goes right through him. So 2 power play goals for Tyler Sagan. He's got 4 in his last 3. And Spezza's going to get the puck on the side. He looks, he wants to go straight back behind Ennis again. He does, and Sagan knows he got away with one here as his shot is right on the ice, and it goes right through the legs of Kemenard in the French net.
So Ronan Kemenard was a surprise starter in this game for France. That was the 13th shot he's faced in this period. None so far for the French on Martin Jones. And Canada has a 3-1 lead. 2 of the 3 goals scored on the power play. As you mentioned, McKinnon drops back for Muzzin coming in. Jake Muzzin a shot. Kemenard makes the save on that. Pale. And behind Savard. Now Bertrand with a shot. The punter's down, and Jones dropped that for a moment.
That's a lack of concentration for Mark Jones, the puck pops up in the air and he drops it into a scoring chance.
Might want to warm him up a little bit here.
I can't imagine it's very easy.
It's a turnover there to Francis Louis Lampellier.
And then when the puck comes, it's probably going to be a deflected puck that gets at you.
McAvoy, a long shot. There it is, tipped wide. Off the stick of Perot. And Couturier has it back. And this comes in for it. The puck bounces around at center ice. Under 2 to go here in the period. Coming out. Laid that in the corner. Ennis comes in for it. Toffoli was taken down. And Perot has it. Perot plays it to finish second league after playing games against Canadian players mostly growing up in Saint-Pierre and Miquelon. 1:31 to go. The puck bounces to the French bench and play is called.
Sagan's going to start this play by going to Spezza, but he stops right on the dot because he wants to keep the passing lane alive. And it's almost like Kemener expected the shot to come higher. You saw his upper body raise up. That brings his left pad off the ice, and the puck goes right underneath the pad into the net. You know, Gord, I was talking earlier about hope, and that's a deflator.
Right, you mentioned the goalie has to be almost perfect.
Because now, 1 goal away seems possible. This must seem like a mountain for the French here now down a couple.
A chance for Sagan. Looks for O'Reilly, the bouncing puck in front. Finally picked up by Julien Desrosiers. The French do now have a shot on goal in the period. 15-1 Canada in the period. Overall 34-7. Desrosiers in a sharp angle to get a shot away. Barry pokes it in for O'Reilly. Canada back in action tomorrow night here against Switzerland. Closes out the round robin against Austria on Tuesday. The quarterfinals are Thursday. And Damien Fleury comes in. That pass deflected away. Top 4 teams in each group make the quarters. There's a crossover format. One plays 4 and so on. The Czechs, by the way, cannot leave Prague. So if they finish 3rd or 4th, they will not cross over into Ostrava. They'll stay here. .20 seconds to go in the period. And the semifinals and the finals next weekend. Here to wrap things up. Avenue goes back for it. Sagan was trailing on him. Giroux's got it. Claude Giroux works in. And a penalty coming to Teddy DaCosta in the final seconds here with 6 seconds to go. DaCosta will get a hooking penalty, and Canada will get a late power play.
That's a bad penalty for DaCosta to take. It's just perhaps not aware of how much time is left in the period. This puck jumps at the blue line on Avenue. Now there's nowhere Giroux is going at this point with 5 seconds left. He's going back behind the net. Let him go there. But DaCosta's obviously thinking defend, 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 and Giroux's work gets Canada their 3rd power play with just 6 seconds left in this period.
Yeah, if you look at the clock, it'll tell you how much time left in the period and what time of day it is.
Yeah, but he's playing. You're just sitting here.
Well, he didn't look. He's curious.
He's actually skated, you know?
Okay, go back. Spezza will pass there to Crosby, who tipped it wide right at the horn. And so Canada will have 1 minute and 55 seconds of power play time to carry over into the 3rd period. Ahead 3-1 against France.
Team Canada over France after 2. 15-1 shots on goal. Rod Black, Bob Berry back with you. And Team Canada, a lot of chances here in the 2nd period.
It was an onslaught, really, in the 2nd period. France just trying to hang on. Shots 15-1 for Canada in that 2nd frame. They couldn't get anything by Kemener for a long while. Seemed to be getting frustrated. Duchesne took a penalty, but they just kept going, and that's what you have to do. You got to be patient. Giroux trying to give all the moves, everything but the kitchen sink, and still Canada only with a one goal advantage here, despite the fact that France were just trying to protect their goaltender and doing everything they could. But then finally, the power play took over.
Getting a little chippy out there as well. One thing about the Canadian power play, we've seen Tyler Seguin sort of go backdoor each time, be off that on that side, and carbon copy power play goals.
Yes, it certainly was. And for Tyler Seguin, who had 13 power play goals in the regular season this year, he's got 2 in this hockey game. And Jason Spezza, shot, pass, down, 1-0 Canada in the 1st period. How about through the seam again? Kind of that shot, pass, that fake, as Spezza is making it look like he may go to the net. And you can see not defended very well by France. Again, very fortunate to get the second one under the netminder, but similar plays for sure.
Similar plays. Tyson Barrie kind of the quarterback back there as well.
Tyson Barrie has done a good job. He's done a good job in this tournament, as have the big bruising defense. Savard back there, Burns. Those guys have been done good back there.
Speaking of Tyson, his dad Len, of course, played in the National Hockey League. Tyson wearing the maple leaf at the World Hockey Championship is with Brian Mudryk.
Tyson, you guys were out shooting them like crazy in the second frame and finally got the power play goal. Was there any frustration setting in, or do you guys just stay the course out there?
I mean, a little bit of frustration. I think they're playing tight, and the goalie's playing well. But you know, like they said, we're getting a lot of chances, a lot of shots, and it's just a matter of you know, bearing down and trying not to be too cute and put them in.
Power play obviously clicking. It looked kind of like that similar play with Spezza passing it over to Sagan on that power play.
Yeah, obviously they got a lot of chemistry. They do it all year, and I'm just happy to get up top and work it around to them and watch them do their thing.
A lot of talent on the ice in front of you. How have you adjusted as the tournament's gone on?
Yeah, it's tough. You know, you come in and you don't really know what kind of role you're going to play, and with so much talent, you just try to, you know, do whatever the coaches ask of you and try and find your role to help the team win. So it's been a bit of an adjustment, but you know, we got a great group of guys and everyone's buying in and we're all on the same page, so it's been a lot of fun.
Thanks for your time. Good luck in the third.
Yeah, thanks for having me. Thanks, guys.
Clean-shaven Tyson Barrie. How about this? Look at this. Battle of the Beards. That's Antonin Manavian from France and Brent Burns. And there they are talking between periods. You know what they're saying? Hey, look how much money we're saving on razors. Will the beast.
Canada will have 1 minute and 55 seconds of power play time to carry over into the third period. Tyler Sagan has a pair of power play goals in this game. A 3-1 Canada lead after 40 minutes of play here in Prague on a very busy Saturday. This is one of 6 games being played at the World Championship today. Russia in action against Belarus in Ostrava as we speak. But here later today, Austria plays Latvia in a key game for two teams near the bottom of the standings. And tonight, Sweden plays Switzerland here in Prague. A game we'll have for you on TSN starting at 2:15 Eastern time.
Now Russia stretched things out 4-0 on the other side against Belarus.
The Kostitsyn brothers, Andre and Sergei, playing for Belarus.
Really having a good tournament. Belarus been a surprise really on the other side.
Host country from last year's event. That's a first place battle today in Ostrava in Group B. So Canada now on the power play. And Sagan is standing at the top of the blue line and holds the line for Canada. That's a little pick there from Ennis. And Sagan drops it back. Ennis with all day walks in and shoots. And Keminer makes the save.
The stand on that gave Keminer even more trouble.
Hall to Spezza. Now bury a drive that was blocked. And Spezza walks in. He shoots. A little tip right on it. Kicked away by Keminer as Ennis got a stick on it. Hall back with it now. Minutes ago on this power play. Here's Spezza. Sagan. Look for that pass from Spezza at the top of the faceoff circle. Taken away. And now away comes Meunier short-handed. Laurent Meunier gets spun around at center ice. And it's picked up by Roussel. Antoine Roussel works back in front. French calling for a penalty there. Shakashvili with the steal, shoots, that's blocked by Sagan. Now Damien Fleury drops it back, penalty coming to Canada. Shakashvili unloads, and that hit Tyler Ennis and knocked him down. And so the Canadian power play will end with 33 seconds remaining.
My eyes are telling me that Antoine Roussel just sold a high stick. We're going to see it on the highlight, I'm sure.
On a teammate, Tyler Sagan.
The official at center ice called this penalty. We'll see if there is a high stick here.
Yep, Pfizer moved.
You have better eyes than me. Roussel turned, spun right off, but he flipped the head back, and Sagan, who had made a nice defensive play to come back as the French had pushed back up the ice, sits in the penalty box and will be 4-on-4 for 33 seconds.
Dribbles down to Martin Jones, who hangs on to that. So the shots again in the period were 15-1 in the second.
The French in 30 seconds are going to get a power play to see if they can creak their way back into a 1-goal deficit.
Shakashvili being harassed there by Giroux. Now it's picked off by Crosby. In comes Sidney Crosby walking in. Plays it across for Giroux. Ekblad into the corner for Crosby. Dujé Favel battling with Crosby, and Dujé Favel wins that battle for the puck. Final seconds now of the French penalty played down in the Canadian zone. Jones leaves it there for Muzzin. Now France on the power play for 1 minute and 27 seconds, but Canada has the puck. Muzzin, lead pass, misses Ryan O'Reilly on the penalty kill. O'Reilly centers it, and Couturier couldn't quite reach it. Hecafoy flips it down in the Canadian zone. Bodied there by Burns. Fleury waiting for it. Damien Fleury, a long shot. Jones makes the save. The puck bounces high in the air over the goal. And a race for it now. O'Reilly and Fleury gets there first. Damien Fleury takes the return pass, centers it, and a shot fired high and wide by Johan Avutu.
Really good play. Avutu had an open side, just shot it over the net.
Here they come again. Fleury whistles that through the crease, and the puck bounces back out as Kevin Hecafoy picks it up. Plays for Langnau in the Swiss League. They earned promotion this year in a series against Rapperswil. So Rapperswil goes down to the Swiss B League next year. Now a centering pass for Teddy DaCosta, stripped away by Couturier. He'll fire it down inside 20 seconds to go in the Sagan penalty. And Keminar played that in the corner, but it's picked off by Toffoli. And Tyler Toffoli drops it back for David Savard, who pounds it back down to the French zone. And that'll do it for the Sagan penalty.
One really good chance. Fired over the top of the net.
Now walking for France is Meunier. He's taken down. And back the other way comes Sagan. Tyler Sagan flips it back in the corner. Dujé Favel waiting for it. Good fail. Up for DeRosier. France is changing. DeRosier's shot goes wide. Meunier drops it back for DeRosier. DeRosier for Meunier. Back at the point. Yanil with a long shot. Rebound, and it's flipped high of the goal. What a chance for Teddy Trebuchet. All alone in front of Martin Jones. He flipped it high. Now Crosby comes in. He's slammed down. Spinning as Eberle couldn't get his stick on the puck. And Yanil has it.
Jones got some help from Jake Muzzin. That was another dangerous chance for the French here. Two of them in the last 90 seconds or so.
Sasha Trail plays that over the glass, and the puck is up on a play. The French had a couple of great chances there, none better than Teddy Trebuchet.
The MVP of the French League playoffs is going to take this rebound of the shot from Janil and catches Jones right in the mask. Watch Jake Muzzin turn around, and his stick hits the heel of Trebuchet as Jones has to try and find it again after it hits him in the mask. Trebuchet, who just saw the replay, sees it go up over top of the net.
Out to center ice it goes, knocked away from McKinnon, and Burns has it back for Canada. And the puck into the Canadian bench. And that hit someone on the Canadian bench. Might have staggered them a bit. I think it was Muzzin that got hit.
Is Burns going to be up over 20 minutes again this afternoon?
Ambius on the face-off win by Giroux, up ahead for O'Reilly. And O'Reilly to Burns. Away comes Brent Burns across the line. Burns winding his way in. Hickfoe stays with him. They joust in the corner. Claro played it ahead for Gutic. That pass knocked away. Here's Hamhuis back with it. Now a steal is shooting for that was Anthony Leck. And no penalty called, or is there? Yes, there is. The referee in the corner does call it. So Canada will be shorthanded again. 5 minutes into the third period. It will be a hooking call on Dan Hamhuis.
Much like the puck at the end of the second period bounced on the French defenseman and forced France into taking a penalty. You'll see Hamhuis spin back with the puck. He loses it here to Reck, and then he gets called for the hook. And so the French power play that had one really good chance a few moments ago will get back on the power play for the second time in this period. The getting their opportunity to get close here.
Here comes again. Fleury drops it back. Abatu is shot, stopped by Jones. The heck of a drive, and Jones kicks that away.
Jones's best moments of the game. 2 real good stops. One on Abatu off the face-off. Good play by Fleury, and Abatu comes in. Jones makes that stop, and Hecafoyle off the rebound fires at Jones, a blocker stop up into the netting.
Say good morning to you in Canada, wherever you're looking in, just after 2 o'clock here in Prague. Canada and France in a 3-1 Canadian lead. It was 2-1 for a very long time in the second period. Canada finally scored on a power play by Tyler Seguin, his second goal of the game.
And a couple of power play goals. It was 2-0 Canada, then 2-1. They just cannot shake the French here. And even in that second period where they outshot them 15-1, they just got the 1 goal by Tyler Seguin.
And Ray, in this tournament, France came in with a .930 team save percentage.
And a lot of that, though, was on Cristobal Huet. This was somewhat of a surprise. I mean, we were both surprised that the goaltender who'd been on the roster as the number 3 guy, Ronan Kemener, gets the start. And he had a leaky one on Seguin second, but he's actually played quite well.
Saakashvili up ahead for DeRosier. Julien DeRosier, who has the French goal, in shoots. Jones knocked that to the corner. Yorick Trail stripped by Burns to the line, but not out. Saakashvili has a look. His long shot at the heel of Weirkosh. Right to Yorick Trail with a shot. Stopped by Jones. Burns belts down Meunier. Here's Meunier back with it. Saakashvili for Meunier. Saakashvili back with it. Feeds across to DeRosier. On the centering pass, Trail stopped in tight by Jones. Now Trail the deflection, scores! Meunier, the shot looked like Yorick Trail got a stick on in front, and France is back within a goal with a power play marker.
Moments after being robbed from 15 feet, Yorick Trail deflects a sidewall shot as Hamhuis goes back to the box in the penalty box for the power play goal against. There's the first stop. Trail robbed by Jones, back to his feet, and not much time as Meunier fires it off of Trail's stick, deflected into the corner, and there's 13 and a half left, and it's a 1-goal game.
Yorick Trail's a guy with experience in North America. Played 4 years of NCAA hockey at UMass Lowell. Drafted by Chicago back in '98, he played for Norfolk and Providence in the American League before returning home to France. He plays in Grenoble in the top French league. Now Roussel with the steal. Antoine Roussel centers it. Damien Fleury with a chance, goes barreling into Jones. And play is called as Damien Fleury went steaming into the Canadian netminder. France back within 1. 13 and a half to go here in the third period. Canada, which lost to France in a shootout last year, has its hands full with the French in the third period here. France is out shooting Canada 9-2 in the period. Has a goal, down by 1. And a long shot kicked away by Jones off the stick of Benavion. And Jordan Eberle has it back for Canada. Eberle plays it around. Hall for Crosby, that's intercepted. Antoine Roussel's away along with DaCosta and Fleury. Roussel waits, shoots, tipped in front, they score! Damien Fleury, the tying goal with 13 to go. Now the officials might take a look at this and see how it went in. But for now, Damien Fleury has it 3-3.
Canada has the puck in full possession in the French zone. Antoine Roussel chips it past Sidney Crosby here, and Roussel's going to break up the ice. It's a 3-on-3. Eberle doesn't get back to eliminate Fleury at the front of the net. You see him put his hands and head upward, knowing that he's lost his man. This hits off of the stick and foot of Damien Fleury. It's his third goal of the tournament.
They're giving it to Roussel for now. That'll change.
And they're going to take a look at this.
They're going to look at it.
But Eberle doesn't get back to eliminate Fleury going to the net. It actually hits Fleury, Eberle, and goes in. And so a half a minute after making it 3-2, it's now 3-3.
Fleury's third goal of the tournament. He has scored big goals. He scored a power play goal to make it 1-0 against Austria in the third period. He scored the tying goal against Germany in the third.
And hits Fleury's left foot, the hip of Eberle, and nothing Martin Jones is going to do about that.
Now, you can't kick the puck in off an opponent, but it didn't look like a kicking motion. There isn't.
No, he didn't kick that.
And so, referee Vladimir Schindler indicates it is a goal. This is a 3-3 game here with 13 to go in the third. Well now, 35 seconds after the 3-2 goal. And now in comes McKinnon for Canada. So Canadian coach Todd McClellan wanted better starts. Now he looks for a good finish like Canada had against Sweden. Spezza.
This is unbelievable.
But you talked about it, right? Now a centering pass for Duchesne, just missed it. Belief is a powerful thing.
As soon as they get the second goal, it's possible again for them. And now we'll see if Canada can ramp it back up. The shots are 12-2 here in this period.
Now Muzzet to Spezza. Drops it off for Barry. In comes Tyson Barry with it. Bertrand lost his stick. And back up to center ice it goes. Spezza pulls it across the line. But the play is called offside. And you know the Swedes and Czechs are cheering hard for France here.
Because that opens the window of hope for them.
To finish first in this group.
Eberle a step slow getting back. He's got to get to the inside if he can. The inside of Fleury, the French forward, to knock that pass away. And then it turns into a bad break off of Fleury's foot, Eberle's hip. But Canada had full control of the puck, 190 feet away from where that goal ended up. One turnover, Roussel strong to get the puck ahead of Crosby, and then it's in the net.
And Couturier has it back for Canada, peels back to the front. And Kiminard held the French in the second period. What was an avalanche of Canadian shots. Played down to Couturier by Ekblad. And a penalty coming out of France. It'll be Trebuchet who goes off. As Ekblad plays it down, the extra skater comes on for Canada. It's Crosby. And as Anthony Reck touches up, with 11:15 remaining here in the period, Canada's going back on the power play as Trebuchet goes off for boarding. Trebuchet missed a great chance earlier in this period.
Yeah, a rebound that he shot over the top of the net. There's the penalty. The check with Couturier facing the boards. If Didier Favel wasn't sure what the call was, it's boarding. So Canada, after giving up the power play goal to Treyu and the tying goal to Fleury, get back on the power play themselves.
Burns across to Giroux. Back to Burns. Long wrist shot, bounces off the leg of Meunier wide. Now Giroux back with it. Claude Giroux to Burns. Across he goes to Crosby. Crosby back to Burns. Now Burns a long wrist shot. No, Vion kicked that away. Here's Giroux with it. Back to Burns. Crosby. Burns winds and shoots. Scores! Brent Burns trickles it through. Might have been deflected. But the power play goal puts Canada back in front.
It's the second power play goal that goes right through the French goaltender, Caminaire. It looks like an Eberle deflection. Burns and Crosby are playing catch on the left side of the ice. It's going to go from Burns to Crosby back for the one-timer. And it is a Eberle deflection. Good read by Eberle, good spin. Excellent shot from Brent Burns. The spin and getting your stick on the ice is important. And the fact that Burns' shot is to the right side of the net allows Eberle to get a stick on it. It's his third in the tournament.
So less than 2.5 minutes after the tying goal, Jordan Eberle on the deflection.
3 power play goals for Canada.
Yeah. Eberle now with 11 goals in 32 career games in the World Championship for Canada. And Couturier fires it down. So back and forth they go here in the third period. A lot of people would have looked on and thought this would be 7-1 or something in the third period.
You betcha. When it went to 3-1, it just felt like the air was going to come out of France here. Canada had the power play at the start of the third period. That turned out to a 4-on-4, and then the French with 2 goals 35 seconds apart tie it up. Eberle on the deflection of this Brent Burns shot gives Canada the 4-3 lead.
15,300 here just after noon on a beautiful Saturday in Prague, and the host team is off today. They're on track to break the attendance record set last year in Belarus. The crowds have been extraordinary here through the first week and a half of this tournament, and the best yet to come. If you're back in Canada watching, sometime do yourself a favor, go to the World Junior in Europe and come to this event.
This is fun here.
Bring an extra liver if you can.
These people have had some fun.
Late pass goes to Sagan, busting in Tyler. Sagan shoots at the goalpost. That close to a hat trick, and now McKinnon plays it back in.
Oh, does he get rid of the puck in a hurry? Right in stride, he took just a half a second delay to load it up and rings it off the right post.
Now Duchesne breaks up that shoot in. In comes McKinnon for it. Abbotsford back with it. Inside 9 to go in the third. Anthony Reck with it. Reck backhands that wide of the goal. Away comes Spezza with Duchesne and McKinnon. Spezza works in, centers it. Was off the stick of Heckefoyle and wide. Now McKinnon loose in the slot. He shoots, and it's off the stick of Abbotsford.
Tyler Sagan's got a couple of power play goals. This is a beautiful feed from Tyson Barrie. Look how quickly he gets rid of that. It's not even a half a stride. It's just a half a second that he loads that up, leans on it, and rings it off the goalpost. And I can be certain that Kemener is not facing anybody shooting the puck like that in the Finnish second league. That is a top-end shot.
If he is, the scout should get over there and take a look at it.
Yes, go find whoever that might be. See if the French have one more in them here. 8.5 to go.
Crosby's stick got broken. Gives Meunier time to bring it in. Drops it across. And Jordan Trail falls on the puck. And Weirkosh has it back for Canada. Here's David Savard with it. Up ahead for Hall. Takes the return pass to Crosby. Crosby for Hall. Tips it right on goal. Kemener makes a good stop. Crosby steps in the bin. They didn't like that hit. And Heckefoyle bumped there by Savard. Couturier lost the puck to Fleury. Damien Fleury has been a big part of the story for France today. Down to Teddy DaCosta. His brother Stefan out of the French lineup with a knee injury. Scored twice. The 3-2 shootout win against Canada last year. Now, DeRosier puts it wide. In that game last year in Belarus, Canada never led. Now drop back, and Trebuchet with a shot off the arm of Jones. Now DaCosta plays it behind the Canadian goal. And Weirkosh has it. Again, can't clear it out. Janil lost it to Couturier. Banks it around to Savard. That pass intercepted by Fleury. Loose in front, Weirkosh plays it away to Toffoli. Down to Toffoli, and a hooking call coming out of Teddy DaCosta of France. And so Canada will go back to the power play. with 7:07 to go here in the third period. So Canada back to the power play here with 7:07 to go in the third period. Jordan Eberle's had quite a period, had a French goal going off him, and deflected one behind the French goaltender. Canada 4-3 lead.
He'll look for his hat trick here, as both he and Tyler Seguin have a pair of goals for Canada.
Crosby wins the face-off back to him. Eberle playing the point. This power play across to Burns. Burns drops it down to Giroux. Claude Giroux. On the goal line to Eberle. Back to Giroux. Giroux winds in, shoots. Coming up with a save, the rebound. Eberle flipping at it.
Made about 3 saves there. Good shot from Giroux and a couple rebound whacks at it for Eberle.
Now Giroux sends it to O'Reilly with a shot. Save made by Kevin. Now the rebound bounced away from Crosby. Now Burns with a shot that dribbles down to the goal line. Manavion plays it away and back down to the Canadian zone. Russia now 7-0 on Belarus.
I guess the battle for first is over.
As Tom Brady's playing for Belarus, we throw a late touchdown pass. Or I could pick a different quarterback this week.
This week you could choose someone else, yes.
Unless Peyton Manning's playing for Belarus.
Yeah, the news gets over here too.
Oh yeah. Although hard to explain to people here exactly what it's all about as Seguin comes in. Now Seguin on the goal line with it. Tyler Seguin works in. Centers it. It bounced away from Ennis. And now Spezza across to Seguin. He wanted that pass to Seguin at the top of the face-off circle, but Kevin Heckefoil, having seen that several times here in the game, knocked it away. Ennis back with it. 25 seconds to go on the power play. Barry. Back to Seguin. With Hall standing in front. Tyler Seguin walks in, waits, feeds back. Here's Barry with it now. Barry. Cross to Spezza. Shoots. Kevin Ayer makes the stop on that. Now Lucy Spezza trying to feed it back. It's knocked away in a race for it now. And Laurent Meunier can fly, and he comes on Barry. Meunier short-handed. Plays that through the crease. As DeCosta comes back on for France. Under 5 to go here in the third period. Canada with a 1-goal lead.
Wow, the French captain Meunier, his 8th year as the team captain in his 50th World Championship game. Almost got loose on Tyson Barry. He really scooted through the middle of the ice.
36-year-old guy, too. Burns drops it off for Couturier, puts it right on goal, and Kevin Ayer knocks that away. Loose along the boards, fed up by Couturier. Fed ahead by Sacha Trail. Up for Bertrand. Bertrand in, shoots. It's off the stick of Burns. Up and out.
Jordan Eberle with a couple of tallies. Here's the first one in the first period off of the McKinnon feed. Then he had Fleury's goal bounce off him. You see him shaking his head, and moments after that goal that tied it up 3-3, Fleury made it 4-3, and there he is with a couple of chances from 2 feet on that last Canadian power play.
Now the puck bounces down to Jones, who had to be careful with that as Antoine Roussel was standing in front of him. And don't forget, all this happens without Cristobal Huet. It was a .952 save percentage in the tournament. He was the winning goalie last year when France beat Canada, and 2 years ago when the French beat Russia.
And certainly you would think he would have stopped the Seguin goal. I mean,
Navio with the shot, it bounces right down to Teddy DeCosta, can't get a shot away.
I mean, he's by far the best goaltender that they have. They've obviously looked at this game as a long shot. Wanted to get him a day off, but well, Kevin Ayer has been fine. He's given up a couple right through him.
Canada will be back in action tomorrow night against Switzerland. The French play Sweden on Monday, then Latvia on Tuesday. Here comes Heckefoil with a shot, and Martin Jones turns him away. The shots here in the period are 11-6 in favor of France.
Heckefoil plays a lot for them. He moves well. He's a good skater. Not shy to lug the puck into the zone. He gets a good scoring chance, and Jones does well to control the rebound. See how long the French go before they think about pulling the goaltender here.
It'll be O'Reilly. He's winning about 2/3 of the draws he takes in this tournament. He wins that one, and Sagan's got it. Ryan O'Reilly has proved to be a very valuable player for Canada in this event.
Excellent player, had a bit of a step back offensively this year.
Sagan drops it back. Long shot by Ekblad, bounce off inboards. Back to Sagan, loose in front. His man was Claude Giroux. He stopped in tight by Kevin in. Now fired wide of the goal. Echefoil. Up ahead he goes for DeRosier. DeRosier works in, got poke check there by Ekblad. Meunier comes in for it. And here's Ekblad poking it around for Wirakosh as Kemener remains in the French goal. Antonin Manavian goes back. Played junior in his CHL for Alcali Bathurst and Gatineau. And swings that line. Knocked in there by Sacha Treo. And away comes Hamhuis with it. Dan Hamhuis. Up ahead for Couturier. Damien Raw broke that up. 2.5 to go here in the period. Abadieu. From Manavian. Out at center ice. Knocked down by Hamhuis, who fires it back down to the French zone. Abadieu. Up ahead for Sacha Treo. 3-on-2 for the French, and they hurry. And a big hit there by Burns right in front of the Canadian bench. Back comes Couturier with it. Sean Couturier drive. Kemener makes the stop. Manavian drops it off to Teddy Costa, working in. And comes Acosta. Can't get a shot away. Under 2 to go here in the period. Damien Fleury spins and shoots. He was tied up by Spezza. Now brought back in by Roussel. Roussel centers it. Teddy Costa just missed that. 1:45 to go. And Kemener remains in the French goal. Now Duchesne brings it back the other way. Duchesne drops it back down low for McKinnon. Abadieu trying to knock it by Spezza, can't. Now knocked out there by DaCosta. 80 seconds to go here in the third period. Meunier plays it down. Kemener goes to the French bench. Centering pass by Yorick Trail just missed. Off the bench comes his brother Sacha Trail with a hard shot, and now Jones has no stick. Crosby battling for the puck. Canadian goaltender Martin Jones just got his stick back, and the puck played back up to center ice. And now a hand pass called against the French as Manavian had batted that ahead. Antoine Roussel, as you might expect, in the middle of everything.
Couple of discussions with the officials. Physical as always, and it was his shot that led to the 3-3 goal. So the French have just under a minute here. They've got the goaltender back in.
Can't call timeout. They've already used it.
Canada with 3 natural centermen on the ice. O'Reilly on the left, Crosby, Claude Giroux.
And Claude Giroux and Antoine Roussel are having extended conversation out there, as you might expect. Two of the more sharp-tongued and sharp-witted National Hockey League players. Echefoil trying to play out. It's batted in by O'Reilly. And now Roussel has it for France. Kemener now inching his way back towards the French bench. Off he goes. DeRosier comes on as the extra skater for France. It's played back out to center ice. 35 seconds to go in the period. DeRosier to Echefoil. Long lead pass for Roussel. In comes Antoine Roussel. The bouncing puck knocked away by Burns. And Echefoil back to get it, being shadowed there by Giroux. Inside 20 seconds to go. DaCosta fires it down. Burns goes back for a rolling puck. He bangs it off the boards. Can't get by DeRosier. Now Giroux on it back for Burns. Squeezing that up to center ice. Meunier tries to play it back in. And that hit the Canadian bench until play call with 2.5 seconds to go. The face-off will be outside the Canadian line.
So the French play their hearts out. Come back from down 3-1 with 2 goals in the third period, 35 seconds apart. Had a couple really good chances, but are going to fall just short as Canada's going to win their 5th straight game here.
And the French score 3 goals for the first time in the tournament. Do it against Canada.
And get nothing for it.
And will stay on 3 points. So Canada leads by 2 twice, but France comes back to tie it in the third period. And Canada, you'd have to say, escapes with a 4-3 victory as the French outshoot Canada 14-9 in the third period. And Martin Jones gets the win now 2-0 in the World Championship. Still to come tonight. Austria plays Latvia. Sweden plays Switzerland. We'll have the Sweden-Switzerland game for you on TSN starting at 2:15 p.m. Eastern Time. Time now for the Player of the Game presentations, and then Canada.
Sponsor of the 2015 International Ice Hockey Federation Ice Hockey World Championship. The prizes will be presented by Mr. Miloš Večera, Trade Finance Division at Raiffeisenbank International. And the best player of Team France is number 10, Laurent Meunier.
Long-time captain, Laurent Meunier.
Couple assists today for Meunier.
The best player of Team Canada is number 91, Tyler Seguin.
So a pair of power play goals for Tyler Seguin. And he is Canada's player of the game. Next up tomorrow night, Canada versus Switzerland. And over the years, the Swiss have given Canada headaches at almost every level.
Ladies and gentlemen, please rise for the national anthem of Canada.
The 2015 IIHF World Hockey Championship from Prague and Ostrava, Czech Republic is brought to you by RBC. Proud to